Yo, what's up, everybody? Lobo's here again with DanMalore to talk about another episode of the Bad Batch.
Hey folks, how's it going?
Um, Sorry we're a little bit late
Oh,
today.
dude, there
For
was
what?
a you mentioned Star Wars news.
Yeah.
There was something coming up, and if you see some of it, please get me some. Star Wars Blue Milk is coming to stores near around or on May 4th. And it
Really?
has I don't know if you're gonna be able to see this, but they're blue bottles.
Oh,
Well,
it
blue
went.
bottles.
There you are.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a Star Wars. You can Google it, Star Wars Blue Milk, and it'll show you the what the labels look like. You don't drink milk. I actually don't drink milk, but
No, I drink milk, but I don't know about drinking blue milk, like actual blue milk. I get the blue
okay.
milk drinks at Galaxy's Edge,
hmm
but that's not what's in that jug.
Yeah, I think it's just blue dyed milk, but
Yeah. If I really
I
want blue milk, I could get my own food coloring and go to town with
uh
that.
but
Oh,
if you see it, okay, go ahead.
there is a little something that I stumbled across. Apparently there is a Star Wars exhibit here in Simi Valley at the Ronald Reagan Library.
Hmm.
It's
What kind of stuff do they have?
from the pictures I saw, there's a land speeder and uh some costuming.
We talking
Um
like Rancho Obi-Wan level?
it's I I think it's just like I'm not even really sure where it came from or who made it. I stumbled across an article on it on like the MSN homepage.
Hmm. Interesting. Well, I might be interested to go check that out if it's
Yeah,
there's tickets.
it's I'm not sure. I've never been to the Reagan Library. Um
I have when the namesake passed away.
ah
Yeah.
yeah, here look. Let's see if I could bring it up here. Mm, oops. Let's see. Sorry, I should have had this ready. It's it's the
SDI Defending
yeah,
America.
yeah.
Huh.
So
Whoa. It's actually like a cross promotion
it is a cross promotion
because that's
between,
what the Reagan era described the Space Defense Initiative. It's called
right?
Star Wars.
So, but most importantly, right here, this exhibition and the artifacts displayed within is not affiliated with Disney or Lucasfilm.
Okay.
So I don't. It's
Hmm.
just a thing that's happening. So if you know,
Okay, and there was the Space Defense platforms. This is
yeah.
SDI is like deep Cold War, peak Cold War. Everyone thought we were going to be vaporized in a nuclear firestorm.
Here we go. Exhibit sponsored by Prop Store.
Hmm.
So yeah,
My only concern is like, is this like propaganda, like political propaganda?
I
Cross
don't know.
cross with
I
Star Wars?
I
That's kind of weird.
I don't know if they need permission to do this or what, but yeah,
Hmm.
it's what it is. I'm not. I'm on the fence about going
It's
to it or
like
not.
it's like Vault Tech sponsoring a movie promotion in universe, like that they have an agenda for sure.
I don't know. I find it really funny that there's a First Order stormtrooper here, and then
hmm
everything else is OG trilogy,
Except for that picture of the space defense
except
platform,
for
right?
yeah, except for the actual Star Wars platform.
Uh-huh. We were a minute away on the doomsday clock from
Yeah, and look at it
a
now.
total
We're back.
annihilation. We're
We're
back there
back.
again.
We're back there again, but with
They they say what
different
goes around
different
comes
players in
around.
the game. Yeah,
hmm
I just
Good times.
could. Yeah,
That's fortunate. That's why we have Star Wars, so we can forget about all that stuff. The wars instead of real wars.
you know, wars in movies, especially wars in movies that don't actually they're not based on actual events are so much more enjoyable.
Right?
Fake wars are always my preferred wars.
Yeah, let's hope they stay fake.
Hypothetical, mythical,
Right.
whatever, however you want to
Mhm.
look at it. Those are always better than a actual boots on ground war, um, or
Agreed.
drone
Agreed.
flights or jets or whatever you want to call it these days. Um, but I I still haven't heard from YoJimbo tonight, so um, I I don't know.
He's in the field right now.
He's out. He's
MIA.
out. He's out scouting somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, he's been on that. He's been on Mount Tansis for a while. Maybe they grabbed him. Well,
I know things
when
are
they
things are shaking up on Nine
when they
Tanzas
when
right
they were
now.
sweep when they were doing that sweep and they grabbed up Rampart. Maybe they grabbed YoJimbo as well.
Very possible. It's very
But
possible.
with that being said, let's go ahead and dive on into. Do I have the sound setting right? Yes, good. Um, so sorry,
Uh, Episode.
I
What
just
number
I
is
just
this one?
restaurant. So this is episode 14,
Okay.
called Flash Strike.
All right. It says here, directed by Nathaniel Villanueva, Nate Villanueva again. He's again longtime Clone Wars, Star Wars storyboarder artist apparently, and so he's been involved in the animation for a long time. And then written by Brad Rao, who's also like written a bunch of stuff, at least this season. So, yeah, they have their A team producing these episodes right now.
They do.
I mean,
Um,
who else would to do the penultimate episode, right?
outside of Dave himself, this is the best
Yeah,
choice.
yeah. I wonder if he'll have like he feel like his name will be on the next one or something.
Right. So we start up in hyperspace. So that was kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
We got the science vessel or whatever you want to call it. If I can make that a little bit bigger. There we go. Um, with the shuttle that the Bad Batch is piloting stuck on the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
At first, I thought this front radar dish on the bottom was a an open hatch, but that is not the case. Because still, like the biggest question going forward is, uh, how is Echo gonna link back up with the rest of the batch?
Yeah, I almost forgot that he was actually on the science ship.
And yeah, so they're getting ready to drop out of hyperspace because they could tell, I guess. I don't know how they know it's going to be soon. Maybe do slips do ships slow down? I almost wasn't able to say that. Do ships slow down when they come out of hyperspace, or do they just come out of hyperspace? Like,
Well, if hyperspace is an alternate dimension, they drop out.
right,
That's all
but
I know.
like,
Do
okay,
they like there is no hyperspace is almost like their speed is not uh doesn't make even sense in that.
right,
They're like floating over normal space. But I think part of it is the speed that they exit is the speed that they entered. So that they're still hauling cheeks when they go in. There's like a critical speed that they have to be going apparently, right? Because they always do that. They like shoot like a dart out of sight,
yeah,
and then they vanish. So um, typically they do decelerate because they don't want to overshoot what their target.
right.
So
And I feel like if they go to from like that fast to
mhm.
even a fraction of it without slowing down first, like everybody on the
that
ship theoretically would fall over. Like
did you ever
yes,
see that episode? It reminds me of Rebels. There was a there was an episode where I forget what happened. They detached from a ship that was going hyperspace, and they slowed down, or they get out of, they don't have a hyperdrive on the small ship, and it was
Right.
all rainbow colory, and they tumbled, and then they dropped out of hyperspace all weird. That was like one of the coolest episodes, if you remember that.
Yeah.
It
Was
wasn't a
it the
controlled, it wasn't a controlled drop from hyperspace. It was an out of control drop in hyperspace, and it was bizarre. It had like rainbow trails. It was like psychedelic almost. It was
yeah,
great.
I gotta go back and look at that.
Yeah, I'd forgotten
I
about that
vaguely
until we.
remember. I vaguely remember it.
Mhm. I think it
Uh,
was the Ghost. No, wait. What, the Phantom? The Phantom is the little ship. The
yeah, the
Phantom
Phantom
2.
that sits on
I feel
top
like
of
the
the boat.
Phantom doesn't have a hyperdrive, and when it detached, it it fell out of hyperspace in an uncontrolled way, and it was really cool.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Okay. Um. So, Wrecker, Hunter, Crosshair, and Rampart get ready to drop out of hyperspace on board the shuttle, while we have Echo doing his thing, hacking things with his cyborg bits, um, and almost gets caught again. Um, I wonder if I wonder if anybody has translated all this Arabish. What do you think?
it's probably the lunch menu for Lucasfilm.
Right?
Ham
Well,
sandwich on
it's
rye.
it looks like one Arabic letter and then numbers.
Yeah, it's a
So
manifest.
yeah,
I mean, I think it's revealed that he's looking for Omega's file,
right.
right?
Well, no, he doesn't look for Omega's file. I think he's looking for the coordinates. Like where are they going?
Hmm.
No,
I mean, that would be helpful
or
if he
or
definitely would need that, because if they're going to have any chance of getting off planet or
right.
somebody rescuing them,
They're
they would
gonna
want to
they're
know
gonna
where
need
they are.
someone to pick them up.
Yeah, if they can't
Um,
steal something,
right.
that's going to be really hard.
So they did. Um, I was really shocked. Well, I guess I'll wait till I get to it. Um, sorry, I'm having another one of those days. I wasn't prepared enough for this. Um, apparently, the Imperials get alerted that the Batch and Rampart were on the space station and left at the same time as the science vessel or the
Mhm.
cargo ship or whatever you want to call it, because sorry, Ram, what's this fool's name?
It's Hemlock.
Hemlock
Hmm.
comes in here and they brief him, that happened because uh Wrecker should have killed that dude. that
Who kills Hemlock?
that no, at the end of last week's episode, there was the commando homage where Wrecker puts the knocked out deck officer
Oh
down
yeah,
and then puts his hat on his head and just leaves him. That guy was able to report that
what actually
shuttle
happens?
because they left a witness basically. They didn't
Yeah, I think they
they
would
didn't
have
take
figured it
care of
out
the
anyway, but it didn't help for sure.
yeah. Like there's an eyewitness, a guy who can eyeball Rampart for sure because he had he wasn't in armor and he's probably fairly like his escape has probably made it to
Yeah, they put the pieces
Imperial.
together. They put the
Yeah,
pieces together for sure.
like they took him out of that prison. It's how long till that's reported. I mean, if the Empire's guilty of one thing is procedure.
Hmm.
Lots of procedure. So, um, yeah, here we go. They actually said Clone Force 99 infiltrated the orbital station with Vice Admiral Rampart. So they've already blown their own cover. So
You blew my cover.
Ramp Hemlock orders for ships to be deployed to search for him. And now I fully thought that because of the episode with Fee and her dropping into uh you know into an atmosphere with no power, she was able to kind of sneak through. But these guys don't do that.
Yeah,
They're
I was kind of disappointed that we didn't get to see that, but they didn't have time really.
right. They're off the ship and there's fighters on them immediately,
Yes.
which which makes sense.
Yeah,
But
they even mentioned that it's not a patrol. They were waiting for them. They were expected.
yeah,
What this is kind of pointing to, and it's a kind of a trend throughout the entire Bad Batch series and some of the other shows, like Andor, is like you're seeing the competent Empire. You know, because
right.
a lot of times in like the animation or whatever, the stormtroopers are kind of bumbling and dumb Empire. You know, they're just like it's like Hogan's Heroes or whatever. You know, with the
Yes, the way
the
they
saluting guys are the bad guys are kind of incompetent. In these series, they take them seriously, which is important because you know a story is only as good as its villain. You know, that's like a rule in writing.
yeah,
You know, if your villain is like incompetent, then nobody cares. There's no stakes.
exactly.
So, so having a good villain, it's like the Wrath of Khan, another franchise we shall not name. Um, you
Star
know,
Black. Oh.
yeah, you need to have what made that such a good film and good story is because like
Yeah,
you know the captain met his match, somebody who could
yeah,
actually was threatening, sinister. So same goes for comic books. Some of the best characters are the villains. You know, let's be frank. Some of the
yeah,
best characters are the bad
yeah,
guys. That's why you go to
yeah.
see, oh, what's he gonna do next? How are they gonna get out of
Exactly.
this one? You know, so Darth Vader is probably the
Yeah,
biggest.
yeah. He's like top tier bad guy. So yeah.
Right?
But
It's important to have good,
yeah.
threatening villains.
So
So,
let's see.
anyways, they're competent. They're doing their job. Like, there's no, even though the Bad Batch was able to sneak aboard, whatever. Like, they're discovered. They're you know
Right.
the system is working for the Empire.
But
Their checks.
that also leaves the fact that Echo is still these guys are getting chased down by what was that, V Wings? And uh Echo is still on that other ship.
Hmm.
So like it just like this the stakes just seem like they keep going up. So they cut away from the dogfight action to the kids on on in the vault. There we go. Those are the words I'm
Hmm.
looking for. Um, and they hear the cannons firing.
Yes. Now, this part it didn't bug me, but I was like kind of confused. I was like, aren't those turbo lasers uh, as opposed to laser cannons? Like an X-wing has laser cannons, but those turret things, those are turbo lasers. They're like
They're
an
they're
order of magnitude more powerful.
they're turbo laser
Uh,
cannons.
yes, but there's a specific name for that. It's just a nerd
No,
thing.
I know they are usually just called turbo lasers.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. Like the Imperials should be. Omega, sure, she can call them laser cannons, but the commander, I think Hemlock even, or no, it's the he says, commander, neutralize this threat. He like tells them this, and he's like
yeah,
fire, you know, activate like laser cannons. Like it should be activate turbo lasers, and that's just a nitpick of mine because
yeah,
they're like way more powerful than your typical laser cannon. They're for shooting down like capital ships and stuff.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah, I know. I just know I like blowing them up in the Rogue in Star Wars Squadrons, and before that, back in the day with the Rogue Squadron video games, which really need to make a comeback. But
dude, I
that's a
this is
whole
probably for a discussion at the end of the episode, but like I hope the next episode's longer.
well, this I believe was the shortest runtime of the entire series, not
Maybe
just
that's
this
why it made me
season,
feel that way.
not even just this season, but the runtime with credits for this episode is 20 minutes 29 seconds.
Wow.
Which
So this should have just been part of the finale,
it really should have.
right? We should be talking about the finale right
It
now.
really should have, but instead we get a couple. We get a would we have a triple episode and then some double episodes? Now we have a oh crap!
and-
I fell asleep. It's over already. What happened? Like,
And those needed it because there was episodes that without the Bad Batch in them, so I see why they doubled up. But they should have ended the season with a double too, at least.
it's yeah. I don't.
Just weird. Weird programming decision.
Really weird. So, that being said, the base is going under a lockdown because they got to be extra sure no extra people were on the science ship, and we do know that Echo took out at least 2 stormtroopers, at least stunned them. Or do they show that? Did we got to that yet? Let me see here.
Oh, I didn't see Kate jump on the chat. Hi, Kate.
No, not quite yet.
I can't talk. They still haven't fixed that bug.
Yeah, there's
Weird. Okay.
Issues. All right. Yeah. Okay.
Cool. No, it's on my end. It's not on their end.
Sorry, I'm looking for a good spot to pop in. So Emery, what's the other doctor's name?
I forget. She has like a clinical kind of name.
Right. So
it's
they
like
get
Dr. Stone Cold or something.
They get known by this weird looking dude who doesn't seem to have a name.
Lobot's nephew.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, he does have the ear coverings, but I don't know if he's that
brain enhanced or whatever.
Yeah. It doesn't quite look like the same earpiece thing. And he's got that weird.
No. It's like they all have the goggles that gives them data for their research.
Yeah. Their own
Lobot's actually integrated
like
in the computer.
I feel like there's like some kind of glasses that they're selling that even look like this right now.
Where?
Some kind of HUD display, like a Google lens or something.
Oh yeah, they got Ray-Ban smart glasses too.
But even with that weird red grid.
I have not seen those.
I feel like I've seen a like, one of those force-fed ads on some art, thing. But Omega finally realizes the batch have figured out where she was. And they're coming to get her. Right? So she's going to be an adult by the time she gets out of here, but here's your turbo laser cannons. I mean, they look a little beefier than the ones they had on the Death Star, but maybe not. They do have those energy bolts that explode in mid-atmosphere. So the batch get hit a couple times, smoking shuttle, so they decide to abandon ship in the most ridiculous way I've ever seen by rappelling out of the ship.
After Crosshair does some fancy flying though. Come on, that flip around thing.
No, yeah, he did. He did it. It was a great. It was definitely. If you guys like aerial like dogfight deals, this is probably the best Star Wars, Clone Wars style dogfight that we've got in a very, very long time. So definitely watch it repeatedly. I just don't,
Mhm.
didn't really want to try to
And you
find
have
all the cool
Rampart,
stuff because that,
Rampart doing some screaming and whining.
yeah, Rampart screaming and whining, and they basically just let the ship crash, which is good because you know
It buys them some time.
it buys them some
Uh,
time, and by doing the
Record.
repelling out early,
Uh-huh.
there's no immediate tracks to pick up or
I was
even
surprised
ascent.
Wrecker was so okay with this plan. Like usually he'd be just like a Rampart, like I don't want to go out on this cable.
I think it's more like Wrecker knows that if he doesn't do it, he's a goner.
Pretty much.
I mean, it's
And maybe seeing Rampart cry.
knowing the Rampart's going to cry about it, but also he knows his objective is to get to the ground. It's not we're climbing over this thing and we're still going up. We're we're you are you're descending, and I think he's okay with that. It's the being up high and staying up high is that he's got an issue with.
Yeah.
Um,
And Rampart's cable jams, and so it gets blasted and he gets caught midair. That was pretty cool.
right. Sorry, I just had a look at this. I think this looks pretty cool.
Yeah, that's a good screen cap.
Right. Um,
That's a stormtrooper pilot.
yeah,
It's like a hybrid of a TIE fighter pilot and a stormtrooper.
right. But
Got the two tubes.
He's flying a V wing, not a
Hmm.
tie fighter. So I don't know if
Yeah.
that's so we get some more Rampart and whichever I always forget the name of that. Because it's not Scorch that's in there. Oh, it is Scorch.
Yeah. Scorch is gonna get his eventually, I hope.
Maybe. But the other ship is escorted in by some TIE fighters, and we have Crosshair decides, hey, you know what? That stormtrooper armor will fit me. So he does the old classic hero in the villain costume disguise.
Yep.
Except
That was good.
he kind of leaves himself with the I don't know what that tool is called. His interface
Hmm.
pick. I don't know. What would you call that? That
His his like adapter thing.
yeah.
Because it's a multi-tool, right? It's like a tool, but he could also use it to to hack into computers.
Yeah, he could interface with imperial things. I don't know. I don't know what the official name for it is.
This is Jack.
Um,
Yeah, I don't know.
but he's checking the manifest again for some reason, and some
Mhm.
things have been offloaded, but those symbols and numbers aren't
I
exactly the
Does this
same.
have to do with what when they eventually land? That officer's like, we need to get this off the ship right away.
It seems like it because I mean they have, you know,
You know, like what's in those things?
exchange real quick,
Yeah, the officer's like, I don't care what you're doing. These need to get to where they're going.
right?
What if they're Night Sister bodies? Kidding.
No, it's too early for that. Way too early for Night Sister Body. Sorry, it's another cool shot.
Hmm. Is that Scorch leading them?
That is Scorch leading the inspection of the vessel, but it seems like they continue unloading it pretty frequently once we cut back to there. Let's see what we got. We got oh right, this nonsense. Um, we get the guys cutting through the jungle, avoiding getting spotted.
Hmm.
Um, oh, that was yeah. A funny spot was
Asking if Hemlock made it.
asking if
Not
Hemlock made it.
Not
Yeah,
Hemlock. Rampart.
Rampart made it, and unfortunately, yes. So they still got this guy in tow. Honestly, they're there. They could have just like, all right, dude, you're on your own.
He's kind of got his role to play at this point.
But they could have. I mean, they could have just left him on the ship.
It's true.
You know, like
He may
I
yet
think it was
prove
very
use-
because yeah, like because Hunter shot the cable release and then caught him and made sure
He
that
didn't have-
he
he didn't
made
have
it
to.
to the ground. He didn't have to do that. This was the guy who's responsible for destroying Tapoka City. This is the guy, you know, like if anybody deserves to meet their end at the hands of a clone trooper, this is it's this guy.
It's true. It's true.
But by the clone's own thing, was being a good soldier and just following orders. But so the ship gets checked out. No one's on board, so they start a radial sweep of the jungle around the crash site. But Crosshair knows the direction to go because, of course, he does. But Echo, back on the ship, kind of gets spotted by a droid while he was hacking the manifest because that's what Echo does.
Droids are
and,
always
and the
funny.
droid was like, their troopers aren't supposed to be here, you know. So he's like, oh, I was checking the manifest, right? And then decides to go ahead and blast the droid and take his hand, so he has like
A hand.
can pass off as having a hand. But
Yep,
every
thanks
time
for
he
the hands.
accesses, yeah, he says thanks for the hand. That's some of the humor.
It's good Star Wars humor.
It is just cheesy enough. Just cheesy.
Boring conversation anyway.
Right? Just blast that microphone. But he follows the droids out, sneaks out the same way he got in through the droid tube. Right? You know, gotta. But then he's got to deal with what's going on. The ground officers are actually checking all the clones to make sure everything matches up. So he does his just sneak on by, join a squad, and just hide in plain sight.
Is it the last we see of him in this episode?
No, we see a little bit more of him in a minute.
Oh, because of Emery.
Yeah, so because of everything going on outside, and Emery kind of disappears to check on the new shipment, and just the other scientist is there with the kids. Omega feels like this is a good time to go explore. So she tells the other kids, watch my back, and none of them understand what that means. She's like, just keep an eye out for droids or scientists. And she goes and starts climbing around inside the wall panel that she opened up last week. And then again, the story kind of just nice keeps going. The batch start they're sneaking through the jungle, and we get some cool exposition between Crosshair and Rampart. Crosshair gives the whole, of course, push him to make him walk, like you guys were talking about last week with wow, yeah, the way all prisoners are treated.
Oh, CX1 or whatever, clone X
just
pushes
the constant pushing, no matter what. But Crosshair, tries to tell Rampart the Empire betrayed both of us, and Rampart starts telling Crosshair, he's like, you're like me. You're loyal to no one but yourself. And Crosshair's like, no, I've changed. And Rampart's like, we'll see. But
he's not a true believer
yeah,
yet.
no, he says, sure you have. Yeah, let's just go ahead and throw that up there. Because
I mean, what do you think he'll try to betray them because he's screwed too? The Empire doesn't
he
like him
is
either.
his best chance is to have these guys as his allies, but
He doesn't realize it yet.
no, well, no, I think he's kind of realizes it. He's like, these guys will keep me alive. If I stick with them, they'll generally keep me. Like, they might drag me into a super dangerous spot, like a top secret research laboratory.
They should use him as a meat shield.
They should. They really should.
Like he committed genocide on a planetary scale.
Yeah. But you can clearly tell which stormtrooper is not like the others. Because he doesn't even have the right march down.
Jim's reporting in from the field.
Didn't see the episode.
Well, now he can watch two at the same time.
Cool.
Oh, there's a chat.
Yeah.
Oh. What's up, Jim? He's in the chat.
I see him. No worries, bro. No worries. If you want to jump in, feel free. We're almost done picking through it.
I don't know how they're gonna wrap everything up in one episode.
It's the speculation is next week's episode is supposed to be quite a long one. But
I mean, I would hope so, and I don't think everyone's gonna make it.
Right. Yeah, no. They can't.
I could see them losing Rampart and maybe one more of the batch or a couple of the batch. That'd be sad. I feel like the ending's gonna be sad. I think Omega's gonna make it to keep it like hopeful, because they can't kill a kid in a Star Wars show. But yeah.
I wonder if Omega and the kids will make it out with Rampart and Emery.
That'd be crazy, but I mean,
right?
Anything could happen. Because I could totally see the Bad Batch sacrificing themselves to save the clones and the kids.
Right.
But maybe all the clones are goners anyway. Better than toiling away at that research facility.
Exactly. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. So they're cruising through the jungle, or hoofing through the jungle, and they come up a cliff wall, and it's like, are we gonna climb up it or go around it? And Crosshair's like, it's gonna take too long. And God, Rampart just doesn't like it, and goes and decides to sit down and just let the batch do what they're doing. And in doing so, he leans against that big monster thing, which I don't think they still have given a name to.
Even in the subtitles?
I'm watching the subtitles right now. It just says growling continues.
There's probably a Star Wars wiki on it entry, but yeah.
Yeah. So anybody out there, if you know what
let's see if Google knows. Mount Tantus.
Oh yeah, that's the other thing too. That creature starts crawling towards them, and they can't shoot it because blaster fire is going to give away their location.
Yep. And he says, what's the point of giving her a location if we're
Yeah,
dead? Get eaten.
he's like, it's pointless if the thing eats us. But yeah, it doesn't give any kind of name for this thing.
I'm sure there's a name. Like they
So
know at
there's
this point they always have a.
I'm trying to get a good shot of it, but it's like
That looks like something out of Fallout.
a bear versus it's man, bear, pig. No,
Yeah,
um,
totally.
it's like a bear crossed with a lion, like, and a little bit of a gorilla. I don't know.
Hmm.
It's insane.
Yeah.
It is insane looking. I mean, and Hunter's gonna fight it with his knife because
It's not.
his knife. It Rex Wrecker. I thought, whoa, are we gonna lose Wrecker like this? Fight Wrecker trying to fight a beastie, but no, they make it away from him. But because of all the fighting, the stormtroopers looking for him get alerted to their presence. But luckily, they're able to kind of pass off that creature onto the at least one
Stormtrooper.
squad of the troops looking for them. But since
Yeah, they.
Rampart kind of freaked out and started running away separately from the batch, he trips and falls and then is discovered by these three stormtroopers.
Yeah. So
And
he's captured.
so he's captured. He's kind of lucky that he's wearing an Imperial uniform, or they probably would have just killed him. But
Yeah.
yeah. So Omega is still cruising around looking for whatever she's looking for. When the other doctor and the robot decide, oh, we're going to come in and start checking vitals
The
and
vi-
doing their normal blood sample collection, and the kids have to figure out what they're doing. Omega, for quite a while, is just kind of digging, like crawling through the things until she comes to a vent and finds our friend, the Zillow Beast, being tortured in a tank by some stormtroopers. I noticed your background there, Dan. Now it's that's what do
Looks
you?
familiar.
Yeah, it's way bigger, but
It's just a zoom lens. But somebody on a podcast I heard, I mentioned the Zillow Beast like about 5-6 episodes ago. Like, what do you think they
right.
got down there in the basement? A Zillow Beast? Like that was a wild guess.
Oh yeah, no,
Uh,
it's
but it's one of those Imperial projects.
yeah,
It's one of those so because they mention other assets or something like that.
right.
Hemlock.
Yeah, it's not.
And
They're not only doing Project Necromancer here. They're doing multiple projects.
I mean, I think this one is armor. Zillow Beast's armor is,
Yep.
it's resistant to lightsabers and even Death Star beams. So,
I don't know about Death Star beams.
well,
Um,
like you could shoot a turbo laser at it and barely stop it
a
because
turbo laser, sure, but
uh
a Death Star beam. The Death Star cannon is powered by kyber crystals. I
yes. But
mean,
imagine if you scaled up the Zillow Beast armor to the size of a battle station armor, like it could defend against any, pretty much be invulnerable to any attack. So they want it. That was like the whole purpose of the Zillow Beast, I think, was to study its scales or
right?
something.
No, like yeah, like I could see it being used as armor for like soldiers or specific rank characters or something.
Hmm.
Oh, that's dark there, Jimbo. Only Rampart lives.
Imagine, because you mentioned it, Lobo. Imagine if it's just like Rampart and Omega. That would be an odd couple, wouldn't it?
Right. I don't see them losing any of those other kids. I see all the kids making it out. I can't see
Probably.
them.
Yeah,
I can't
yeah. They're
see
not gonna
them.
wipe out. Wipe out a
especially
bunch of kids.
especially the little baby one. You know, like the
I mean, this
toddler
is a
one,
dark
or
show.
however you want to talk. It is, but it's still
Mommy, I
Disney.
don't like this show.
It's still I feel like they figured out midway last season that more adults are watching this show than kids.
Yeah, for sure.
Because they get their peak hit on it the midnight when they premiere it, and
Hmm.
you know there's a bunch of us nerds talking about it on YouTube and Twitch and Facebook and who knows what else. Um, but yeah, so but that's unfortunately the best shot really of the Zilla Beast that we get. I'm
Yep.
just gonna let it run just
I
a
have a
little.
feeling. I have a feeling we're gonna see it in the next episode. That's her ticket out of there.
Yeah,
You unleash the Zillow beast. See, they're shooting it with laser beams. I don't know, just to tame it or something.
lightning cannons. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, it's brutal, brutal.
She's gonna let that thing out and just wreak havoc on the
I have a
base.
feeling it's one of these kids is gonna do the Ventress, like the taming it with, like, you know, or maybe even Omega do it. That
Yeah,
like
that would be a good way to do it.
how Ventress tamed that creature in the ocean on Pabu. So that'll be that'll be cool. So the kids try to slow down the health screening check things by getting extra checked while Omega's somehow rushing back. I I don't know. I kind of felt like she was gone a lot. She was walking away from where she needed to get back to longer than it took her to get back to where she needed to be. But of course, that's just editing, so who knows? But uh luckily Omega
Yeah,
makes it back to her. I'm just gonna there's a
she slid down the tube, so it's faster.
yeah, exactly. Jax tries to get get the doctor to skip Omega's room. The doctor wasn't having it, and she goes in, and Omega's already there, not even
Mhm.
broken a sweat. I mean, it's just I don't know. It's too convenient.
She did
We
the
cut
Jedi run.
we cut, but she doesn't have. She's not trained. So we get Echo makes his way into the main laboratory area where they were doing all the blood sample testing, and starts trying to hack into the systems, and is caught by Emery, who immediately recognizes him as Echo because of his wrist tool, I'm assuming. And she's like, Omega said her brothers would come for her, and here you are.
Mhm.
So she's like, all right. And she actually, there we go. Omega, Omega told us about you all. Um, she uh, definitely seems like she is not happy with her current job.
Mhm.
I mean,
What, torturing kids?
just by the way she's talking, like she stutters, and also I thought it was kind of interesting that Echo recognized her as a clone
Hmm.
from the get go.
Yeah, Omega told. She's like, Omega told us about you. So,
Oh, right. And he says
um,
Omega saw something in you,
Emery's not gonna make it.
and Emery basically offers her help to Echo. So that's promising. Um, and breaks the news to Echo that there's more than Omega as far as children are
Hmm.
concerned. And he's like, what? What do you
Yep.
mean children?
Yep. There's more.
and Omega tells the other kids that she found something big, and she seems very exciting. And then we boom, 20 minutes in, cut to black, end of the episode. It's like, come on.
I know,
It
such
was
a
like the
short,
biggest like build to nothing.
right?
So
Such a short episode.
last week better be just ridiculously insane. Um, it just, yeah. I don't want to wait. I want it now. Why didn't they really needed to release it all? That's what they should have
Right?
done. What we should have got was we should have got the whole thing. Should have ended last night, this morning, however you want to look at it. And then next week they could have showed us Tales of the Empire. You know,
When is that airing again?
that is coming out May 4th
May 4th.
on
So a
Star Wars Day.
lot of, it's gonna be a Star Wars dump on that day.
Yep. And I mean, I haven't seen confirming, but I'm assuming it's just the replacement for Tales of the Jedi. So
It's this year's Tales of the Jedi.
Yeah, six 15-minute episodes is what I'm expecting. I don't know for sure, but it's what I'm expecting, what I'm hoping
I'm
for.
hoping next week's is at least 45 minutes to wrap it up. Otherwise, it's just gonna be too
I
fast.
I
Unless it's a cliffhanger. Cliffhanger for another show to take over.
I hope it's at least an hour. And
That'd be amazing. An hour episode.
And have it run as a like the finale / backdoor pilot for whatever the next this style animation series is going to be.
Yeah,
I
would imagine so, because they're not going to stop making this type of show, because the
No.
Tales of the Jedi, Tales of the Empire are different. They're a different type of show.
Well, they're different format, but it's the same
Yeah,
style
different
animation.
format. Yes,
it is
but
the same.
that's what I mean. Different. It's a different format. This is like long, format over a
Yeah.
season. Tales is like a mini series.
But then again, if they want to give us what would be really cool, like for years and years and years, DC has put out quality animated superhero content, like movies. They haven't always had an animated series. If they just gave us quality animated Star Wars movies instead of a series going forward, I'd be happy with that. I'd be more happy if they did it like in addition to a series. But like, I don't know. I felt last year the Tales of the Jedi, it was cool, but I wanted more. Like the characters that they're focusing on in these shorts are awesome characters, and I think they deserve more than 15-minute episodes.
Did you ever finish? I agree. Did you ever finish the those inspired Star Wars miniseries? The one that's like anime? I forgot what that's called. Did you finish season 2? I don't think I ever finished season 2, actually.
What do you mean, like Forces of Destiny?
No, it's the miniseries of Star Wars animation that's based on. It's inspired by Star Wars. It has anime. It had the
Visions?
Visions. It was a
Okay.
season 2 of it, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Did you finish the whole season 2?
I don't know. I mean, I watched it. Did I
can't
do a
remember
show about it?
anything from it.
Did I do a show about it? I don't know. I did some shows, but I don't know about all of it.
Yeah.
I'd
What
have
I'm
to
saying
go
is it
back
didn't
and
really
look.
capture my attention.
Well, season 2 wasn't as good as season 1, but also it was more. I mean, it's the equivalent of. It's actually not even the equivalent. It's Star Wars What If without
Yes.
without canon characters
Mhm.
for the most part. So
There was I
like,
remember there was a couple good ones now that I
it's
think
not
about it.
it's not like you're not missing anything from Star Wars lore by not watching it. So that might be why, like, they're just fun stories with a Star Wars flavor. They're not. They're not.
I
They're
don't know
not
what kind of
canon.
I don't know what kind of budget they have, but I wouldn't mind two Tales series each year.
Yeah, it'd be
Doesn't
cool
have
to
to
get.
be Tales of the Jedi. Like next one would be Tales of the Bounty Hunters and Tales of the Rebels and Tales of the if there's gonna be a Tales of the Empire, there's probably gonna be a Tales of the Rebels at some point.
Right, or Tales of the Rebellion, and then they'll do
Tales of Rebellion sounds better
Tales
because you already had Rebels as a show. So
Tales of the Resistance,
yeah,
Tales
that
of the
do that one
First
last.
Order.
Do that one, those ones last. They're chronologically last anyway. So
If I mean, if they did like more tales of all kinds, like I feel like
two a year would be great.
the tales stories are definitely they're a fun way to bring back a character that didn't get
Hmm.
a proper spotlight. Because I don't know, I heard I sorry, I heard. I watched a video from Star Wars Meg yesterday. I think it was yesterday, and she was talking about um, the character that's in Ahsoka, the one that turns into smoke when he gets killed.
Hmm.
That character is apparently in the Barris. I think the Barris Offee
Hmm. That makes sense because what's her name's in
episodes.
it? Because the Night Sister's in it.
Right. Well,
Oh, uh,
Morgan Elsbeth. Right.
Morgan.
So there's somehow they're gonna the
She's
Barasoffy and
origin
Wars
story.
and
Origin
the
story.
Morgan Elsbeth stories will somehow cross over possibly, but
Hmm.
that character, I can't remember his name right now, is gonna get more.
I feel like it's Hannibal or something. No, that doesn't make sense.
I don't know. That's from the A Team, dude.
Another great show.
But yeah, like that guy will show up in it. I mean, I guess I could. It's
Smoke character Ahsoka.
I don't really.
See if I can find it real quick.
Who is
Marok.
this? Marok, yeah. Because everybody was like freaking out when they first introduced
They
him.
thought he was what's his
Like,
name? Ezra.
they thought it could be Ezra. They thought it could be Star Killer from Force Unleashed. They thought like all kinds of random crazy things. But yeah, he's just an inquisitor.
Hmm.
Um
But like an undead inquisitor.
right. So no. Well, I guess that's it pretty much for the episode. Um can't think of anything else Star Warsy related
So Battlefront still broken? I haven't tried
going
it.
on. I haven't into it though. I didn't earn any achievements the first night, and that's pretty much all I've played it.
I beat the story mode in Battlefront 1 and I'm slowly making my way through Battlefront 2. But I bought it to play the multiplayer, and that's where it's most broken,
Right.
which is a shame.
But do you even have gold? I mean,
No, I'm waiting. I'm not gonna pay for gold until
Game Pass Core or whatever.
I want another patch. I want if they're even gonna try. I don't want to sink more money into it right now if
Right.
they're not gonna try. I'll have to look it up
It's
and see if there's an update for it.
it's probably the one of the most disappointing launches for a Star Wars thing since since episode 8 came out. Um yeah. Or
Can't
looking at
argue with
the
that.
box office returns for Solo, which should have done a lot better.
I'm hoping that we get Lando next year, whether it's a movie or a show. That'd be so awesome.
I'd be happy with just confirmation that it's being worked on officially and not
Yeah,
just
it was never officially confirmed, right?
the only person who said that they were ever working on it was Donald Glover.
Uh-huh.
So, I mean,
It might be one of those things where they say it out loud to hopefully shake some
right?
trees to make it happen.
Will it into existence?
Manifest.
Yeah, I mean, there's there is the whole. I know they cut back a lot of production stuff at Disney on a whole. Like Star Wars, Marvel, are probably the two most affected by all the
Mhm.
cutbacks. But apparently, there's a lot of stuff being developed, but not necessarily is going to get released. Um, but if they don't hurry up and do something with the cast of the Solo movie,
Mhm.
I'm going to be pretty disappointed. I don't know if we mentioned it last week. They did show that Kira is going to be in that Star Wars Outlaws video game. Um, but that's like the only post solo cast appearance that we're getting, um, that moves and talks outside of comic books. I mean, there's a bunch of comic books. There's some really awesome comic books, but yeah, I like my pictures to move. Um,
I like the
yeah,
I bought some of the Star Wars comics when Disney took over. There was Marvel comics were coming on digital, and I was reading
right.
through those. It was kinda cool because you could tap on it, and it would move to the next panel, and it would kinda animate it movement. So, even
Oh,
though it was, like, no motion there was no motion, it would, like, kinda be like a movie. That was kinda cool. Like Vader
okay.
Down. Did you ever hear about that series, Vader Down? It was a like a two-part comic book where Vader got shot down, on a planet, and he takes on, like, an entire rebel army by himself. It's pretty awesome. I mean, because they had no chance, really. They just tried to shoot him with blasters and stuff, and try
Yeah,
to
no,
capture Vader, and he's just, like, choking, like, 20 guys at the same time and, like, throwing them at each other and all the stuff you would imagine that Vader could do with just regular infantry. Yeah,
yeah.
it's one of the better comics for sure.
See things like that. I wouldn't mind seeing animated. I
Yeah,
don't.
Vader
I don't.
Tales or something.
Tales of Vader. That'd be a nice one.
Mhm. And I know you don't like the character, but Doctor Aphra is a good character, man.
I never
She's
said I
like an
didn't like there.
she's like an
I
evil I hope we see her
yeah,
somewhere. She's like an evil Indiana Jones,
yeah.
like a corrupted Indiana Jones. Like she's
I
like
never said I
evil,
didn't like that
just
character. I said I didn't know very much about her.
oh, oh,
Yeah,
yeah, Doctor Aphra. Okay, she even has the evil R2 and C3PO too. I like those.
right. Yeah.
The evil R2 is a torture bot, and the evil C3PO is like just sadistic serial killer. Yeah,
Okay,
torture. Yeah, they're both torture bots, but yeah, it's pretty
that
cool.
sounds fun.
Yeah, very metal. They're like all black.
Yeah, sounds really metal. But yeah. All right. Well, I think I think we did it. I think we've done a show for today.
All right.
We'll be back next week. Hopefully, all three of us will be here for the finale of the Bad Batch. Hopefully, we get a nice, super long episode. Um, but yeah,
Like
that'll
and
do it for
subscribe.
today. Yeah, I always forget that. Please like,
No, you
subscribe,
didn't last week.
comment. Yeah, I forget it
Thumbs
more than
down,
anything.
everyone. Thumbs down. Oh,
Right. All right.
yeah.
May the force be with you.